Hi everyone, today we are diving into the world of haiku, a fascinating form of Japanese poetry. Haikus are short poems, and in this video, you will get the structure of the haiku and what is the features of the haiku. Haiku is a Japanese poetry. Haikus that will contain a powerful meaning and that captures the moment, feelings, or the images often inspired by the nature also. Most of the times that will inspire the nature and human beings feelings like love and that kind of things. Then it is, we already said that it is originated in Japan. So whenever you are thinking about haiku, you should get that image of Japan and that cherry blossom. Okay, then you will get understand that what is haiku. It should be your imagination, and that your study method also should be connected with that. Okay, now let's go to the structure of the poetry. That poem, which means haiku poems, are having only few lines. How much lines will be there? Only three lines will be there. That the three lines, first two lines will say about, or that is contains the theme of the poetry. What is the theme? And maybe it's nature, or somebody's feeling like love or sad, something like that. Okay, the third line, that will convey the whole essence of the poetry, that will contain a big or a deep meaning. Usually, every poetry has the rhyming words or the rhyming scheme, right? But in this poetry, this kind of poetry means in haiku, there is no rhyming words, no rhyming schemes. Okay, this is one feature of the poem. The next important feature is about the syllables. We already said that haiku poems are having three lines. Now let's see how many syllables will be there. In the first line, it will be 5 syllables. Okay. The second line, it will be 7 syllables will be there. At the end, which means the third line, the final line or the last line having the 5 syllables like the first line. So the first line and the last line have the 5 syllables, and the second line, which means the middle line, having 7 syllables. Okay, this feature is very important about the haiku. We should not forget about this. Haiku can be surprisingly deep, evoking emotions. It's a kind of like, think of haiku as tiny windows into the bigger world, which means it only carries only 3 lines, right? But it contains a deep meaning. Actually, these poems are originated in the during the 17th century in Japan. Bashos, who was a famous poet in Japan, and that Japanese poet who converted simplicity, nature, and profound insight, showing that even a few words can convey immense beauty and wisdom. You may think that haikus are carrying titles or what. Usually, haikus are not carrying any titles, but if we add a title, that's also fine. But usually, normal haikus, there is no title in there. Okay, so we already said that it is originated in Japan, and this is a short poem, but it contains very long meaning. Okay, then during the 17th century it's originated. Before that, it's known as haiku. Okay, and it was not short poems, it was long poems like our poetry. But after that, Bashos, he converted that poetry into small 3 lines, and it becomes too attractive to the worldwide accepted that, because only 3 lines but it carrying a lots of meaning. You just imagine that how beautifully that 3 lines come containing that this much meaning. So it's so good. Whenever we are reading haiku, we will feel that how simply that poems are written and how deeply that meanings are carrying there. Okay, this is the poetry. So let's finalize this, which means let's summarize the poem. Whatever we said, then haikus are originated in Japan, and there is 3 lines will be there. No rhyming scheme, no rhyming words, and title is not mandatory. That 2 lines will contains the theme, and the last line that is contains the summary and the full meaning of that 2 lines. Then about the structure, there is no rhyming words, that and all we said, right? Now let's think about the syllables. In first line there is 5 syllables will be there. In the second line there is 7 syllables will be there. In the third line again the 5 syllables will be there. This is the structure of the poem, and these 3 lines are not simple lines, that is carrying an immense beautiful meaning of the theme. Usually it is more related to the nature or the feelings of human being, okay, or about the autumn, winter, like that, seasons about also it is saying about. Then it is originated in Japan, because I'm repeating this word, name Japan, because you have to imagine that about the Japan, cherry blossoms and nature, everything. Okay, that's why I added the images also. I already made the Malayalam explanation also. If you have any doubt, you can ask in comment section. If it is a useful video, you can say that. If there is any negative points, that also you can say. Then that's it.